in the woods where the mysteries roam, following footprints far from home. Bigfoot, legends, creatures unseen, stories and secrets hidden between. Tracks and tales, come gather round where the strange and unknown can always be found. From mountain trails to the dark night's veil, welcome to the show. It's Tracks and Tales.
Everything good?
I can hear you.
Alrighty.
Alright, guys. How are we doing tonight?
Welcome to another episode of Tracks and Tales, 4th of July edition. Well, close to it.
Close enough.
Um,
We're about near midnight, 3 minutes till our time. But with that being said, Bigfoot and 250 years of American history is going on this year. We're going to talk about a little bit of history of Bigfoot.
As America celebrates its 250th birthday, it's a great time to look back on nearly 2.5 centuries of history and exploration, and some unforgettable stories from the nation's founding, the expansion into the Appalachian Mountains, and the wilderness beyond generations of America have shared tons of encounters and strange encounters, some unexplained mysteries and legendary centuries. Tonight, we want to talk about milestones, how America rich history, if I could talk tonight, has helped folklore, and why stories like this, the different things, Mothman, Bigfoot, continues to capture our imagination. If you're a believer, a non-believer, for the last 250 years. Some topics we want to start out with is basically, let's talk about what the anniversary means and how much history has happened across the country, all the way from when we signed the Declarations of Independence in 1776, all the way to now, 250 years later. Isaac, you want to start us off for maybe our history people that don't know much about what exactly happened in 1776?
All right. America declares its independence from Great Britain with the signing of the Declaration of Independence. 1783, the Revolutionary War ends, and the United States becomes an independent nation.
All right, let's stop right there. So in 1776, we signed the Declaration of Independence in Philadelphia, is where it was signed in, I'm pretty sure. Maybe I'm wrong. A lot of stuff leading up to that happened. The French came and helped us out, which is back in these early times. A lot of the Native Americans really believed in Bigfoot. We'll start on that here in a little bit. The oldest stories come from the Cherokee and what they thought was a mind-controlling Bigfoot that they was completely terrified about. So, like you said, in 1783, the Revolutionary War ends, and the United States, we become independent from the British. With the help of the French, if it weren't for the French, we probably wouldn't have won this war. It cost us a lot of money. Everybody knows George Washington crosses the Delaware. It's probably one of the most strategic military moves in all of United States military. But what most people don't know, right before that, what's his name? Benedict Arnold, tries to betray George Washington and the colonists, because he wasn't made into a major or something in that area there. I can't really remember. And guys, there's a ton of, Google's free. You can look up all of it. You got many movies like the new Young Washington comes out. George Washington was never British. He was taken in by a British family. Um, and then after the Revolutionary War actually ends in 1787 and 89, the U.S. Constitution is written and ratified, creating our government that still serves the country today. Then a little bit later on, we purchased Louisiana, which is probably double the size of the United States. And thank God, because he don't love a good crawfish broil and all their seasonings.
Well, that being said, do you think Christopher Columbus maybe ever saw Bigfoot?
Who?
Christopher Columbus.
I'm guessing he probably seen something.
Maybe.
Because Sacagawea was, actually, I don't want to say she's Cherokee. Well, I don't even know what she was. Some type of Indian. Well, I guess they landed in Plymouth Rock, didn't they? Whatever they are, was up there.
Anyways.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he probably seen one or two, maybe.
Maybe, or, he just thought it was normal civilization at that
Yeah.
point.
But like I was saying in 1804, 1806, Lewis and Clark begins the exploration to the western frontier.
They saw the Bigfoots. That's where it's at. Lewis and Clark's where the Bigfoot started.
What it started. That's where they start encountering indigenous people out in western, so, Oklahoma, Texas, all them out there. I guess Arkansas was considered west at one point. So on and so forth, from 1804 for about 50-some years, 56 years, America was pretty, I wouldn't say peaceful, but it was quiet. Nothing really happened. A lot of explorations out into explorations. It's hard when you got a East Tennessee accent saying these words. Anyways, and then 1806 happens. You got North versus South, Confederates. And let me make this clear. The Civil War was never about slavery. And I'm not getting into slavery. We don't do politics. We don't do none of that on this channel. But the South, it had, the South wanted slavery. The North wanted slavery too. But it had nothing, the fighting had nothing to do with slavery. It was all over taxation of cotton. The North manufacturers was charging way too much tax on Southerners' cotton, and it became a big, blew up and fought. Millions of young Americans died because of taxation. That's how we got our independence. We was tired of taxation. The Civil War started, taxes. Everything is started over taxes. Yeah. So I just wanted to get it out of the way. But the good thing, the Civil War did eventually abolish the slavery. Abraham Lincoln, which that's a whole nother story we ain't gonna get into because we are a Bigfoot channel and we are not getting into politics tonight.
Yeah, we're not getting into politics tonight, guys.
Uh,
With that being said, though, on the other side of that, we also experienced the rapid industrial growth, 2 world wars, major technical. See, the East Tennessee's kicking in, guys. Technological advances. With that being said, we did reshape the world with new industry coming in rapidly. We had a big industrial boom. Aside from that, we also lost my train of thought.
after the industrial boom, World War.
Yeah. With that
So,
being,
like I said, going into 2 world wars, back-to-back champs, baby. But World War One, not a lot talked about. I ain't for sure how long it lasted.
right off the top of my head, I couldn't.
So I don't want to say the wrong thing. And then we all know World War Two. There's a controversy going around about Hitler right now. Like I said, we stay off of that. But
on a real note, with that also being out there, we also had the Apollo 11 moon landing. Marks the first time humans walking on the moon. What would you all think about that?
yeah, so
Again, I know you flat earthers are going to think otherwise. Let's hear your opinion on that. But with that being said, also keep in mind there's proof out there otherwise.
yeah. I don't even know what I was gonna say now. Yeah, so let us know, y'all ones that believe that we actually landed on the moon. Are y'all ones?
I mean, shit far, we believe in Bigfoot. So, to each their own.
Yeah. What? Me? I don't really know. Some stuff that I've seen, I think we did. Other stuff makes me think that. Oh,
Alright, guys, I think you got it figured out.
hopefully.
Maybe.
Dang iPhone stories. I got it.
Nothing comprehensive.
So yeah. The moon landing. I don't know. Let us know what y'all think about the moon landing. Y'all believe in it? Y'all don't? Same thing as the next thing. The Cold War. That was the whole moon landing. Try to get the first person to the moon. Fast forward to 2001, September 11. Me personally, I think it might have been an inside job. It's another one that people debate a lot. So,
Either way, 9/11 to me is one of them things that is important with my background. There was a bunch of lives lost, a bunch of lives that shouldn't have been lost over something reckless.
yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, it was traumatic for a bunch of people. I mean, there's still people out here dying today that is suffering from the repercussion of 9/11, whether it be them working in the office buildings or responding to said incident, or whatever the case may be.
But let us know what y'all's opinion on 9/11 is. Yeah, from 2000, you got the Iraq War, Operation Iraqi Freedom, Desert Storm, Vietnam. Got many wars before and after 9/11, but skip to 2026. It's 250 years since the Declaration of Independence. uh, you know, take the day to remember the reason why we can come on here on TikTok, on YouTube, do these podcasts, that everybody died for us. Or not everybody, the men that did die for us, and we will always be grateful to them for giving us the freedom to express how we want to and to be able to do this stuff. Um, so, the next thing we want to talk about is getting into Bigfoot. Let's go back up here. There's some notes that help us out. Okay, so like I said, into one of the topics we wanted to start off with, since we're talking about history and everything else, is the one of the oldest Bigfoot stories. Um, settlers' accounts of large, hairy beings and to that these sightings, are folklore, and like we've talked about before, folklore. Something's always true about folklore. It might be small bits and pieces that has came from the story, but there is some truth to all folklore. Um, they One of the oldest Appalachian stories often connect Bigfoot. The Cherokee Nation is one of the big Indian groups that we try to associate. Um, like I was saying, you know, let's fix that real quick. Like we were saying before, Cherokee was one of the first people that came in encounter with these, uh, what they would call, wild human-like beings deep in the mountain. Um, a very good example of what what the Cherokee would call these things is the Sukaloo. I think I'm saying that right. The Sukaloo. I think.
Maybe not. Who knows?
There's another word for it. I have no idea how to say it, to be honest with you. Jacala. I don't know. But it's described as a superhuman being associated with mountains, especially in western North Carolina, and eastern Tennessee. Like some of modern Bigfoot hunters, enthusiasts, always speculate about a connection between his great size and his mind control as a spiritual figure. He's not simply a hairy ape-like creature. It's more as your more today's Bigfoot, as we describe it as a
more modern time Bigfoot.
Eight, 9 foot tall, hairy creature. But a lot of people really believe. Like I was watching a podcast the other day, and this guy was saying tree knocks was not tree knocks. It was the sound that they make when they jump between dimensions, from one dimension to another.
But who knows? Who has witnessed?
Last video we heard 3 or 4 tree knocks. I think Bigfoot is. I don't think he's really. He could be dimensional, I guess.
But me with the thing is that could get there and create a bunch of racket, noise, whatever the case can be. I mean, you've got bears, you've got coyotes, you've got everything that could be brushing up against trees or anything. I mean,
But making it sound like that, I mean,
it's one of those things you don't know. You don't know till you see.
but yeah, that's one of the oldest legends of Bigfoot, the Sukaloo, um, or as we call it, the Cherokee Devil, which we have tried to go after this creature and it didn't end very well, um, on multiple points for me at least. Um, which everybody likes to call the humping video when Isaac tackles me and gets on top of me. um, but long before the word Bigfoot even existed, that's what they would call this thing, the Sukaloo. Um, Bigfoot reports have changed compared. Back in the day, they didn't have cell phones. They didn't have computers or any of this technology. A lot of it was from people telling neighbors going and telling newspaper stories, eyewitness reports.
Accounts. I mean, it.
They don't have drones or social media or trail cameras like we do today and can see these
They
things.
can't go out and be like, yeah, it's just word of mouth. Not dead set.
Yeah, in like the early 1800s and 1900s, most reports came from hunters, trappers, loggers, and settlers. But most of it has been passed down by mouth for generations, or printed in local newspapers that you can still go back and find today. Evidence was usually limited to footprints, eyewitness accounts, the stuff like that. It wasn't really until the 1950s and 70s Bigfoot gained national attention. It was more of how to explain it. It just wasn't big until then. It was really after the large footprints that's found at Bluff Creek in California, and of course the famous Patterson film.
Which my argument is compared to modern times back. Again, we had that discussion last podcast, and I understand that the government may look into that, but it's one of them things. I still believe that if they get there and release a quick pick real quick, they gonna make that quick meal, and once that goes out and the government catches on, they gonna spell out and take that money.
But yeah, after the Patterson film, Bigfoot became a very large. Sorry, I was trying to read that. Bigfoot became a very large worldwide thing at that point, especially seeing them Patterson films. You got some people,
Often referred to as patty cans.
yeah. It sparked the public interest. More sightings became bigger. The early '80s into 2000s. Really, that's when Bigfoot researchers and groups really become more common. Investigations begun using plaster coats for the footprints to markings, whatever they could get their hands on. The audio became a bigger thing in the 2000s.
It was just one of the things they referred to as more vital at that point in time.
Especially trail cameras became a very big thing in the early 2000s for documentation purposes, with Bigfoot researchers and hunters. Um, Today you got people like me and Isaac and Chris and Journey that go out and hunt these things and try to put them on social media on YouTube. We have this podcast that we talk about it. We have thermal cameras. We have drones now. We have night vision, digital maps that we can look at. Even the better technology, clear evidence. It's still hard to catch these things. It ain't just like you go out there and walk through the woods and there's a Bigfoot out there, or
just
there's this and that.
Or go on.
Yeah. When we shoot these videos, sometimes you see most of the important parts that we put on there, but there's sometimes 20 minutes might go by and it's four guys walking out in the woods.
To the great yonder.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, just things change.
Yeah, and
me not being the skeptical person, I'm just thinking reality. But with Andy, it's like he knows what to look for. If that makes sense.
Yeah, like I've said on other podcasts, I've been a believer since I was 9 years old. That's when I first heard one, seen it. So I've been, a believer. Cat, get down. Go on, Festus.
Festus said he needed an interview.
Yeah, so, just technology now has become a lot better for us to document these things. We don't have a drone. We do have someone that is coming out to use his drone for us. We do have night vision now. We do have, or thermal, sorry, not night vision. We have, of course, we have social media, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. But the one thing that is interesting is that while technology has improved, Bigfoot reports haven't disappeared. Instead, stories around the campfire, people uploading videos, sharing audio recordings, post photos online, which we all, we make fun of these photos that's online, half the time it looks like the picture's been taken with a refrigerator camera. But there is some photos out there that has clear evidence of these things. It's still, after all these years, the mystery still remains. Bigfoots are one of these creatures that is incredibly elusive. Even though they're these 6'8" creatures, they're still 6'8", 6 to 8 foot tall, 9 foot tall, 10. They're still elusive. Sightings are being manifested, or is there another explanation for sightings of Bigfoot? Like, is it, like we talked about earlier, is it Bigfoot's coming from other dimensions? Are they, I've even heard people say that they're aliens.
Guys, who knows what's going on? In all honesty, there's so much stuff out in the world that has been unexplored, as we've said in previous times. You've got the ocean that's only like, in all honesty, how much would you say? 10 15%, maybe explored.
Yeah, like 80% of the ocean's unexplored.
Like, without a doubt, yeah, obviously there's more that's known than we know, but who's to say that there's more than that?
Yeah, some of America's most famous cryptids are, we got the Mothman, which they had the festival every year. You got Bigfoot.
Oh, wood collapsed the whole bridge.
Yeah. You got the Jersey Devil, and you got there's different stuff. You know, I mean, all the chupacabra.
You got everything.
What's his? I think is a dog with
mange.
mange.
If you can think of it, it's probably out there.
Uh,
the thing is with it is getting there and proving whether it's there or whether it's not.
Yeah, Mothman became a big thing around 1966 in Point Pleasant, West Virginia. Which, if you're into cryptids, anything to do with that, you know, most people know the story about the bridge that collapsed. You know, it's this winged humanoid creature, glowing red eyes. You know, 1967, the Silver Bridge collapsed, killing multiple injuries and killing multiple people. It's just, simply it's a unidentified animal, or the legend just has grown over time, more than 50 years now. So, you know, it still remains as one of the most talked about cryptids this day. I mean, you got Bigfoot, which is probably the biggest, but Mothman is a close second. I mean,
No kidding.
it's one of these things that it's almost like it's hard to explain. It's hard to even get a picture of, you know. And I'm sure everybody's watched Appalachian Bigfoot Hunters and everything else. And, you know, Monster Monday, they went after the Mothman, and the recent video of Sons of Appalachia, they're going after the Mothman again. This Jersey Devil, I personally don't know much about. I did a little research right here, and from what I can figure out, it's a legendary creature to haunt the pine barrens of South New Jersey. It was born under mystery circumstances in the 1700s, transformed into a winged creature with hooves, claws, and terrifying scream. You know, over the years, hundreds of people have claimed to see it or hear it. It says that it's one of the most talked about cryptids. Me personally, I haven't seen anything about it or heard anything about it. It's just one of them things that a lot of people, I guess, unless you live up north, talk about more, because I've never really heard it, or I even thought about going after. But yeah, and the other one that I could kind of figure out, I don't know how to say that, the Foki monster. According to our research of what we could find, it's a Bigfoot-like creature said to roam the swamps of Arkansas. So I'm kind of thinking like Florida, a skunk ape, which is another Bigfoot creature. You know, a lot of people, it got attention in the early 70s. A large, hairy, human-like creature, oversized footprints. It's basically a swamp Bigfoot, from what I can understand. It was actually based off the documentary of the legend of Boggy Creek. Still remains one of the most well-known Bigfoot types in the United States. Yeah, over 250 years, there's going to be a lot of creatures that's been talked about.
No kidding.
You know, sightings, 250 years worth of sightings, and they're trying to capture these things.
Local creatures and everything. Talking about creatures and stuff. You got paranormal, such as like the Bell Witch, which is near us, but it's there's so much stuff told over 250 years. That's ridiculous.
But yeah, it is so much stuff, 250 years worth of America, and I'm pretty sure most of the woods around here has never even been someone been in, unless if you're dang a hermit that's lived up the mountain for years. But let's change directions a little bit and let's talk about our last hunt that we had. Um, I don't know what it is. I'm a magnet for rocks or whatever it was that hit me in the dang leg. It's what it felt like. It was a rock shattered off a tree and hit me in the leg.
I just want to discuss how the hell you managed to get there and eat shit after the simple fact of it, you ate a rock or whatever the hell.
Well, I told you I was gonna fall. I knew I was as soon as Chris slipped. I knew I was falling down that hill.
Yeah, but we expect Chris to eat crap because simple fact of he's klutzy and he knows it himself.
But yeah, Spearfinger is one of these things that you can probably make a whole season off of trying to go find this thing. It's one of the most paranormal cryptids there is. Another one that Cherokee was completely terrified of.
It may have got there.
Huh?
It may have got there and got you. Who knows the way you had that night going.
I that got me. Got Chris though.
Such a doubt.
But the last hunt was this one of these things. It seemed like it was a lot calmer than the very first time we went.
No kidding. It wasn't nowhere near as way the first time.
You know, the big structure, we didn't go over to that side and investigate because it started pouring the rain on us. But
yeah, we was already.
But it didn't seem as bad or as creepy. You know, definitely more Bigfoot signs than anything. Which they told us the Bigfoot sightings and noises that people's reporting has increased from what we was told last time. You know, that really wasn't much. A lot of people seen what they say was ghosts the first time, and you know, we thought it was a bunch of bull. And
Guys,
the first time was
it's just one of them things. Much to agree, you gotta have the ones that believe and then the ones that just tries to think logical. And me, it's just there's some things out there you can't explain. I mean, I'll be honest. There's wilder things out there I still can't explain. I try to make reason and logic, and it's just you can't explain the logic behind something that don't have reason.
I don't know if that's Journey or if that's Bubs. Is his name Bubbies? I don't know if that's Journey or not. Anyways, you know, for all the listeners out there, we want y'all to invite you to send us your stories of your own Bigfoot sightings or cryptid sightings so we can talk into
wild encounters, just what you thought you saw or may have seen or whatever the case is. It just,
you know, we can invite y'all on.
Everything's up here in a hole, but unless we get there and look together and see what we can see, you ain't gonna find nothing.
But we want to you know, we can invite y'all on. Y'all can tell us your encounters in future episodes. It was Journey. He said, "What up, twin?"
What up, gang?
Yeah.
You're supposed to be here, gang. Where you at, gang? Talk up now.
We want y'all to send us your stories, your sightings, whatever you got on Bigfoot or cryptids. And if you would let us, we'd like to come out and investigate wherever y'all are. You know, we do have a trip coming up to Kentucky.
And we may have some things coming up in the works we aren't going to announce still in the works. But do keep an eye out for the trip coming up in Kentucky. When was it, Andy?
September 26th.
With that being in mind, keep there. We're again traveling to Leslie County, Kentucky.
Yep. And it's a event that y'all can come out to and meet us. Don't know if Chris is going to be there, but definitely me, Isaac, and Journey, more than likely. All three of us for sure will be there. Chris is trying to
be a meet and greet, spit and scratch. It's just one of them things. When I talk about spit and scratch, we just shoot the breeze. Anything and everything, whatever you want to talk about.
But yeah, if America has been around for 250 years, what mysteries do y'all think has remained unsolved the longest? If it's Bigfoot, if it's ghosts, lost treasure,
Give us
pirates,
some ideas, guys.
or something else.
Start doing research.
We want to wish y'all a safe and happy Independence Day.
Keep in mind, keep them firecrackers out of your hands. And,
Yeah.
Them bottle rockets as well. They can get a little dangerous. And the Roman candles.
Definitely.
The Roman candles.
Just go out, enjoy the outdoors responsibly. Don't drink and drive. Always have someone come and call someone. I'm sure.
And keep in mind, you got Uber, Lyft, things of that nature.
Yeah. Never drink and drive, ever. But as we in this video, as we celebrate America's 250th birthday, just the years of history, we're still searching for mysteries that history hasn't explained to us. Whether it's Bigfoot, old Appalachian legends, or something waiting in the next valley. We'll keep looking, stay safe, and we'll catch y'all on the next hunt.
With that being said, guys, till the next time, see ya.
See y'all.